This is a life cycle event for all of Sher Tikva. It's a celebration, a joyful harvest, and it's a little sad too. How do we say goodbye to Rim and Anne as they leave the roles we've known them in for 17 years? Where do we even begin to find the words to mark this moment? As we prepare to move into Sher Tikva's next chapter, several members of the congregation reflected on what we've all learned from working with Rim and Anne. We've come a long way since 1997. Back then, we were a 12-year-old congregation meeting in various rented spaces in different towns. To buy or not to buy, that was the question. We were hotly debating whether to purchase a certain pink house on Church Street, while we were hiring a new rabbi who lived in another pink house on Bacon Place. Think about it. We could have been the temple on Church with the rabbi from Bacon. How very Sher Tikva. But the house on Church Street fizzled, while the rabbi from Bacon sizzled. Remembering those times, one member said, "A lot of people were skeptical about whether we could raise the money for a building. Then Rim walked in and it was never a question like, should we, could we? It was, let's." Just having the rabbi be so clear was so important. He was very brave and people respected that, and they were convinced. The next year, we saw a small apartment building at 34 Vine Street, which featured a wood-burning stove in brilliant red, jacuzzi tubs, and a loft bedroom on the 3rd floor. When we saw these things, we knew we'd found our sanctuary. So on October 22, 2000, 3 years after Rim joined us, we dedicated our new home, and Winchester's first synagogue. Thanks to a bar mitzvah boy with a video camera, we can travel back in time to relive the excitement of that day.
So now we're after the installation of the third Torah. The sanctuary is almost empty, and we're sitting here just feeling how awesome this day has been.
I got here before you did. So I got to the bottom of the steps when they were still coming up the hill, and I couldn't believe how many people were walking up that hill. There were hundreds of people walking up that hill. I never thought I'd see so many Jewish people all walking together.
Yeah.
So Beth, what was your favorite, do you have a favorite moment?
At all 3 installations, I was amazed at how looking at the faces of people as we sang the songs and said the prayers. I loved the spirit. It was so incredible. How about you?
I thought of singing. I thought after the Torah in the Ark each time and said the Shema and then sang Shir Ladonai, Shir sing a new song to God. It was one of the most thrilling moments I've ever seen.
Within 5 years, 120 new families had become part of the Sher Tikva family. With all those new members, a community that had been operating a wee bit casually needed to grow up as an organization. As one member put it, the surge in growth was exciting, but it was a challenge too. I mean, it's one thing to say we care about each other. It's another thing to be able to organize that care with so many people. It just wasn't going to happen without more formal structure. So new and novel concepts were introduced, like meeting agendas, job descriptions in writing, and an annual fundraising campaign. Rim reminded us, without bread, there's no Torah. Rim saw organizational charts as holy work, and that really elevated our understanding of the work we were doing. He inspired us, and he rolled up his sleeves and worked with us. Anne joined the effort too, leading a team to create our mission statement, fostering Jewish identity, community, and growth. And oh, how we grew in those years, in so many ways. As a community, we've struggled together to find answers to all sorts of questions. How do we define who is a Jew? What does it mean to be a good Jew? And who decides these matters anyway? It's not easy to bridge the gap between our ancient tradition and modern life. Rim has struggled along with us and been our struggler in chief. One member said, he doesn't see himself as the ultimate answer guy. He helps you find your own answers. In every interaction, he's a fellow traveler on the journey. We're all kind of stumbling along together. Rim taught us the concept of Judaism as a civilization that's an organic, evolving thing, that we're not just trying to preserve something that we were. We're trying to create something important. We pick up the past, and we create the future. That's a very different way of looking at things.
The Jewish community doesn't carry on the Judaism like a hot potato. The Jewish community creates the Judaism. And I think what we do at Shir Tikva is we create Judaism. Everything at Shir Tikva that's been happening for the last 16 years is my attempt with you to create a kind of Judaism and Jewish identity that works. That's what we've been trying to do together.
Some members told us, I didn't have to worry that I wasn't authentic because I didn't believe in a God who consciously created the world. That just opened everything up to me. I started to feel more comfortable in my Jewish skin. Rim taught us that nothing from our complicated, contemporary American lives has to be left behind when we enter Judaism. We don't need to check parts of ourselves at the door. One member said, Shir Tikva gave me the permission to let Judaism be a thing that has meaning for me, as opposed to, if I wanted Judaism, I'd have to fit into a prescribed mold. Our spiritual growth was intentionally nurtured by Rim and Beth. Together they created Spirit Links, a Sunday program which ran for many years. One member said that Spirit Links was a place where we talked about our fears, losses, even feelings about money with people we sometimes just met. It was accessible wherever you saw yourself on the religious spectrum. It was where we learned to see religious experience, as human connections. We shared our stories and strengthened connections at Shabbat services, at Shiva houses, and during celebrations. For many people, it was through song and experiencing Beth's and Rim's spirit. It was sort of as if we received their spirituality by osmosis. That's the power of the music. In addition, during Rim's time at Shir Tikva, over 400 boys and girls were bar or bat mitzvahed, plus over 50 adults. Here are some of them. Although we work together as a community to build Shir Tikva, there's a lot we will take with us that's just about Rim, uniquely Rim. We'll always remember Rim's learned sayings like, Torah doesn't teach you to eat chocolate. And if finances are tight, we'll remember his family's music store in Pottstown and quote his mother's words, not to worry, someone will always buy an accordion. His spirit, his way of being, has opened our hearts and changed us forever. My image of a rabbi was an imposing figure who was distant. Rim completely redefined that image as fundamentally about empathy and kindness. He guides you by being truly a human being, by using his limitations and struggles and challenges to help us accept our own. It was the coolest thing ever that I had a rabbi that played the upright bass. That was so fun for me when I was little. I think I'll always remember Rim at services, swaying to the music with his eyes closed, and he's just so into it. He embraces diversity with an energy and enthusiasm that I've never seen. It's not only great that you are who you are, it's terrific. Terrific! Rim and Anne made a conscious choice to be open about entering retirement. In a way, they're trailblazing issues the rest of us will face as we travel down that road. So they're setting an example of how to live a life endowed with a humanism that's inspired by spirituality, Judaism, God, and everything else. And we've really been very blessed to have them in our community. Thank you, Rim and Anne, for guiding all of us at Shir Tikva on this journey, a journey that will continue for many years to come.